Hello and welcome to Narayana IAS Academy's newspaper analysis program. Today we will be discussing the Hindu newspaper Hyderabad edition. Topics which we will be discussing in this video are displayed on the screen and their respective page numbers are also mentioned. Now let us start with the first topic. So the first topic for our discussion is RCEP, which stands for Regional Economic Comprehensive Partnership, and this the related news is located on page number 6, and the title reads Threat or Treat. The final agreement of RCEP covers various issues that India had flagged. Now let us look at the context of this particular news. Recently, RCEP was signed into existence by 15 countries led by China, South Korea, Japan, Australia, New Zealand and 10 ASEAN nations. Now, the number of countries and the location of these particular nations is important from prelims perspective, and at the end of this topic, we will be locating all these nations on the map. Now, let us discuss India's relation with RCEP. India has been in talks with RCEP from the past 7 years and has also dropped from it in the last year, that is November 2019, after the ASEAN Plus 3 summit. India has also cited various reasons for its withdrawal. Now let us look at the reasons. First being trade deficit and China's threat. So is Chinese threat real? Now to find out that, a paper published by Niti Aayog has stated that India has trade deficit with most of the countries in the RCEP, and it has also $48.66 billion deficit with China. So this is the primary concern for India to get into RCEP, because there is a fear of dumping or cheap goods being flooded in Indian market. Now the other concern is auto trigger mechanism. India has sought auto trigger mechanism from the RCEP, which was denied. Now let us look at what is auto trigger mechanism. Auto trigger mechanism is under auto trigger mechanism, India will be allowed to increase tariff rates once a product's import crosses a threshold. Means if there are X number of products which are allowed to be imported, once the threshold is reached, we can impose higher tariffs on them. So this was denied by RCEP. The third concern is protection of domestic industry. India has raised concerns about eliminating tariffs on certain products like dairy and steel. For instance, countries like Australia and New Zealand have a very strong dairy sector which might impact our domestic industry. Now let us discuss the other concern, which is regarding lack of consensus about rules of origin. So what is rules of origin? Rules of origin is nothing but a criteria which determines the national source of a product, or in simple terms, from where the product has been originated. Now the current provisions of the RCEP or the partnership do not deal with the circumvention of the rules of origin. Now what is circumvention of rules of origin? Circumvention of rules of origin is nothing but routing products from other countries. Now let us look at the example of India's free trade agreement with Sri Lanka, where Vietnam's pepper is illegally supplied to India. Since India has a free trade agreement with Sri Lanka, products from Sri Lanka can be imported to India at lower tariff rates. Taking advantage of this, Vietnam supplies peppercorns from Vietnam to Sri Lanka to India, so that it can send its products to India at lower tariff rates. So with in this case it will increase the domestic prices of pepper in India. So it puts pressure on domestic prices. Though India has justified its decision citing various concerns, the problem or the impact of India staying out of this RCEP is being debated in the present scenario. Now let us look at the impact of staying out. The first being, RCEP accounts for almost 30% of global GDP. So staying out of such a big trade bloc may result in suboptimal growth. The next thing is impact on India's Act East policy. There is a possibility or chances that the members of RCEP might improve economic ties within themselves and also ignore bilateral ties with India. The next impact is affecting economic recovery. In the backdrop of a pandemic and steep global trade decline, RCEP offers an opportunity to help India's economic recovery, inclusive development and also job creation. Learnings from smaller economies. So, smaller economies like Vietnam and Philippines also have trade deficit with large economy like China, yet they chose to ignore geopolitical differences and prioritize their own interests. So, we need to take inspiration from such smaller economies. Next is Australia-India-Japan network. Australia and Japan being part of the RCEP, it might affect our regional supply chains. And also, by staying out of such a large trade bloc, India might lose on strategic advantages like port building, having a leverage in global forums like WTO. So, what is the way forward? So, what are the options for India? There are two options. One, India can join in future, since the RCEP agreement, the final agreement, seeks to address various concerns which have been cited by India. So, there is an option to join in the future. Next, we can also join as an observer status before joining. So, the call of the article is that India has to review its position on RCEP and carry out structural reforms in this direction. Now, let us look at the Asian countries on the map. So, the 10 Asian nations are Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam and Philippines. The other countries being Australia and New Zealand, China, South Korea and Japan. So, let us discuss the context of this article. The present government has put a proposal under Andhra Pradesh Decentralization and Inclusive Development of All Regions Bill 2020 to establish 3 capitals across Visakhapatnam, across Andhra Pradesh, where Visakhapatnam is the executive capital, Amravati is the legislative capital and Kurnool is as the judicial capital. So, is the concept of multiple capitals new to India? The answer is no. Already Maharashtra has 2 capitals, that is Mumbai and Nagpur. As well, Himachal and Uttarakhand also have their own winter and summer capitals. Now, let us look into the origins of the 3 capital concept. Countries like South Africa, Sri Lanka and Malaysia have successful examples of having multiple capitals, and also a committee called B.N. Sri Krishna Committee, which was set up in 2010 to look into the demand for Telangana, has stated that areas like North Coastal Andhra, and Rayalaseema were backward areas, and another committee, K.C. Sivaramakrishna Committee, which was set up in 2014, also denied one mega capital city. Now let us look into the rationale behind this move. The first one being equal development of different regions of the state. Let us suppose if there is a secretariat at Visakhapatnam, the nearby areas, the nearby tribal or rural areas like Vijayanagaram and Srikakulam would get better facilities, would have better access to different facilities. And also decentralization as central theme was recommended by various committees, as we have already seen. Urbanization, it would promote urbanization and economic development, because cities contribute somewhere near 59% to 70% to GDP. And taking examples from other countries like successful stories of South Africa, Bolivia, and our own states. Now let us look into the counter arguments. Land pooling by previous government. So different moves taken by different governments has left the public being skeptical about any further acquisitions in future. Second, logistic nightmares and infrastructure inefficiencies. It is very difficult to plan a coordination between different secretariats and different cities in a parliamentary government like ours. Difficult to separate executive and legislative organs. For example, in a government like ours, where a bill is prepared in the secretariat and passed in the assembly, creates conflict. Next, financial decentralization. The best way of decentralization is financial decentralization, like strengthening the local bodies, giving them more resources. Now let us discuss what steps can be taken to address these challenges. First, infrastructural network linking the growth centers, like developing Chennai, Visakhapatnam industrial corridors. The infrastructure development within cities. This measure has been stressed by K.C. Sivaramakrishnan Committee. The executive capital like Visakhapatnam, there is a possibility for it undergoing a lot of stress. So there is a need for rebuilding and rethinking the urbanization of cities. There is a need for strong institutions to regulate growth. K.C. Sivaramakrishnan Committee has warned about the environmental impact because of the growth in the cities, and also the recent example of LG Polymers gas leak has exposed the city's vulnerabilities, and also policy interventions like development of infrastructure, setting up of socio-cultural institutions, ease of doing business, also investment in manufacturing, are few of the policy interventions which are the need of the hour. So, the current proposal for 3 capitals has not yet received consent from the central government. So, there is a need for inclusive development through zonal planning and development boards in order to achieve well developed and vibrant Andhra Pradesh. Thank you all. Have a great day.